MBE bar prep question 1, 2. On August 1st, Geriatrics Inc., operating a lifetime care home for elderly, admitted Ulster, who was 84 years old, for a trial period of 2 months. On September 25th, Ulster and Geriatrics entered into a written lifetime care contract with an effective commencement date of October 1st. The full contract price was $20,000, which, as required by the terms of the contract, Ulster prepaid to Geriatrics on September 25th. Ulster died of a heart attack on October 2nd. In a restitutionary action, can the administratrix of Ulster's estate, a surviving sister, recover on behalf of the estate of either all or part of the $20,000 paid to Geriatrics on September 25th? So let's analyze this situation. So on August 1st, they entered into a trial period of 2 months. Doesn't seem relevant, but even if it were, August to October 1st is a period of 2 months. So the trial period should have been over. On September 25th, they entered into a written contract, had to be in writing, was over $500, and it was for possibly more than 1 year, but not necessarily. So it was over $500, so it meets that criteria. And it was for a written lifetime care. So on September 25th, they entered into a contract. The contract started October 1st. Everything was paid and done. And on October 2nd, a day after the contract was officially began, and a day after the 2 month trial period completed, he passed away. So now what's happening is the administrator of the estate is trying to recover that money. Basically, the argument is that, or probably is that, it's not fair, right? It was only in effect for 1 day. So first answer is yes, they'll recover because Geriatrics would otherwise be unjustly enriched at Ulster's expense. So that's not typically unjust enrichment. Unjust enrichment is, and it has a few elements. The defendant received a benefit at the plaintiff's expense and under the circumstances that would make it unjust for the defendant to retain the benefit without compensation. So that's not what's going on here. That's typically, and we had this example in law school, is you painted the house and you stopped working halfway through. Well, you should get a little bit of money for what you did, the enrichment that you made to the house that you halfway painted. That's not this. The entirety of the contract was carried out. The contract was entered into on the 25th, began October 1st, and it just so happened to end a day later instead of 10 years later. So that's not true. Answer B, yes, under the doctrine of frustration of purpose. Again, that's not what this is. Frustration of purpose has to do with the fact that you can't use whatever it is you contracted to buy or to use or to do. That's not this. You used it, you just didn't get to use it for very long. C, no, because Ulster's lifespan and the duration of Geriatrics' commitment to him was a risk assumed by both parties. That's true in its entirety. So let's come back to that. D, no, but only if Geriatrics can show between September 25th and Ulster's death it rejected, because of its commitment to Ulster, an application for lifetime care from another elderly person. So this is confusing a UCC rule with making specific products or very unique products. So that has nothing to do with this here. So let's go back to C. C seems to be correct. And so this is what we've been talking about. No, they cannot recover. In other words, the estate of Ulster cannot recover simply because he happened to die 1 day in. He just as easily could have lived another 10 years or 20 years or been the longest living person ever, and that $20,000 would have had to cover them forever. So C is the correct answer.